Welcome back to Unit 3, Book 1, the Inner Layer Stage 2, Exploration and Envisioning. So in this video, we're going to have a closer look, a more detailed look at Stage 2, the exploration and envisioning skills we'll be using. So, quick look at the overall framework, getting a real sense of how it all fits together now. In the inner circle, we have stage 1, co-creating the coaching partnership, and then stage 2. When we have that partnership formed, we move into exploration and envisioning. So just to put this in context, we often think of the A and the B in coaching. So in traditional coaching, you would have a client working from where they are now and where they want to get to. So where they are now is the A, and where they want to get to is the B. So the A is kind of like the starting point. It's the here and now, the current reality, or the baseline. And then the B would be then the desired outcome, the desired goal, the destination where the client is trying to get to, the future possibility or the potential that's perhaps possible. And then when the A and the B are clearly in place, we have a gap between here and now and the future. We have the gap. We call that coaching to the gap. So with that in mind, there are skills the coach needs to get really good at getting clear in an A and getting clear in a B. So a nice metaphor here is in coaching of there's often a term used that the coach has two tools. The coach has the mirror and the flashlight. So the mirror is represents, reflecting back to the client. So a lot of the time the client is speaking, and as they're speaking, we're listening and we're reflecting back, we're paraphrasing and restating and summarizing, really trying to make sure that we're on the same page as the client. And as they explain themselves more clearly, we ask more detailed questions. The client can get greater clarity on the situation, both in the kind of from the cognitive perspective, but also greater clarity around the emotion elements and the somatic cues. So we're constantly listening and reflecting back to help a client get clearer. And this is kind of the main tools we use, the main tool we use in coaching, that combined with powerful questions. So the flashlight represents how we direct focus. So imagine that there's just so much in a client's life, or so much in their mind, so much possibilities, that is too much to look for all at once. So we use a torch to direct a beam of light to help illuminate and bring into awareness, a certain part of their mental map, you could say. So powerful questions are an excellent way to direct focus. They're the main tool you will use to shine the light on a specific area. So our questions are great for directing focus. We can also direct focus with more than questions, perhaps using some of the active listening skills. And tell me more about that, sort of requesting clarification to make sure that we're directing the focus. So with that in mind, envisioning is where we kind of have the client imagine a future possibility, and they're envisioning what they would like to happen. A really key skill in coaching to be able to do that, and not just to perhaps visualize it. Only that alone is really useful, helping a client to visualize the future they're trying to create or achieve, or to have them visualize the transformation that they want to bring about. To bring that further in transformational coaching, we really emphasize the importance of going beyond the cognitive awareness. So in neuroscience, the visualization will bring on some aspects of the brain. But when we have a client kind of step into their vision and have them imagine that they're there in the future, having achieved their goal and really embodying that, they can bring on the senses of feelings and become more multisensory, so that when they're they can imagine being embodied in the future outcome. They can not only see, but they can hear what is perhaps present, and they can feel and almost smell sometimes the reality. So Muhammad Ali had the boxer had a great term called future memories. He would be imagining his future so clearly, he knew they were going to happen. So the envisioning is almost about creating these future memories that the client then works to actualize. And the embodiment really makes more powerful, and it also brings a lot more information online. And we really need the emotional element when we're creating kind of motivation, etc. And yeah, for a good vision, it wants to be clear and compelling. So when we're working about creating a future, we really want the client to want to achieve it and have adequate intrinsic motivation. So by working to establish a vision that is really, really clear, like I just said, embodied, visualized through all the senses, and compelling, when there is enough reason, when the client really wants it, it will be clear for them, and then compelling. They really want to achieve that. So really an important skill to help with motivation, and also for focus. When that clear and compelling vision is at the front of their mind, their focus on that and on their behavior is greater, and it helps also with determination. Transformation and lasting change takes time, so we really need to be able to go the distance. Our client needs to be able to go the distance, and we need to be able to support them with that. So in the bigger picture, we'll be using envisioning for these bigger pieces where we're envisioning a future goal, an outcome for the coaching. And in a session, you may do some envisioning several times on a micro level. So for example, a client might have a goal for the week, or they may have specific action steps. So for example, a client may have a goal to get back to the gym. Action steps might be very clearly envisioned, where the client kind of goes through all of the necessary tasks that are involved in getting back to the gym, making sure that they have their gear, and setting a reminder on their calendar, booking in with the gym, paying for their subscription for 3 months, for a year, etc. So, and being able to really envision those steps, making sure they're smart goals and smart action steps. So specific. In SMART criteria, S is for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic time. So that kind of criteria comes into the envisioning as well, to make sure that anything that we're helping our client to try and achieve is clear and compelling and specific. And then we have exploration. So exploration, you'll spend a great deal of your time in coaching, I would imagine, in the exploration phase. Exploration phase is really, really crucial to gather more information. And this, for us in coaching, we're going to be using your active listening skills. So really good listening, really paying attention, using our active listening skills to enhance that and let the client know that they're being heard, etc. And if we're exploring, so another key part here is that the human mind has a tendency to drift and get sidetracked. So through an exploration, we're often trying to just kind of herding attention back to the topic or the agenda, or to a specific focus we're speaking about. As the client wanders off, we can just help return them to the focus. And over time, with focus and good questioning, good listening, and good exploration, clarity, increased clarity, we get deepen the awareness. So a client may have awareness about something at a surface level. Think of the iceberg. So we can help them really explore a challenge they're facing, a goal they think they want, a current perhaps resistance that they're experiencing. So we can help them explore, not just cognitively, exploring, asking more questions about the information they have about it, but also the emotion element. So this is where we're going to be using your deepening skills to bring online, through exploration, more data, more information from the emotional and the somatic intelligence of the body as well. And we're trying to help the client to really align the mind and the body, the heart and the head. So by deepening awareness, these different aspects of human being, cognitive, emotional, somatic, we're trying to make sure that they're all aligned. And then from that new alignment, we can explore new possibilities. And often with just a good exploration, the clarity comes from that, even on the surface level, helps the client. to gain clarity and know what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how they're going to do it. So a really ongoing skill to master, and you'll be getting plenty of practice in your coaching sessions. So moving on to this iceberg model and exploration. So in transformational coaching, we need to go deeper, you could say, than a traditional coaching like performance coaching, which is really helping a person a specific focus, a specific goal, get from A to B. We, a part of your role now as a transformational coach will be helping, through exploration, deepen this awareness into to what's underneath the surface. So you can think of a client's specific events that happen for them, results that they get, observe the behaviors that they're producing, what has happened. That's kind of on the surface there to see. And so in transformational coaching, we're going to be trying to help a client explore and perhaps go back from a consequence, go back from a result, and start to explore things like the patterns of behavior that might have led them there. Looking back at perhaps things like habits or typical responses, or tendencies that a client has, or strengths or weaknesses, to see what perhaps has led to this event, led to these results, led to these behaviors, or in terms of behavior, are keeping them alive, keeping them going. But we can then go deeper. So looking then at the underlying systematic structure, what are the structural forces at play contributing to these patterns? This is often where we can bring along the emotional and somatic intelligence of the body and the emotions to help understand at a greater level what's going on to produce the current event, the current results, etc. We can really examine the structure from a mindset perspective, the structure of beliefs, of values, of internal conflicts. These kind of things play into it as well. And that kind of new awareness of more structural mindset factors that are contributing to the current way, as well as the emotional and somatic cues, that gives us so much more to work with and your client to make new choices from. And it's really when we have that greater understanding of how it is now, that's when we can start to transform from the same level of thinking, or I should say from a new level of thinking, we can start to transform what was and start to create the new. Okay, so that's it for now on exploration and envisioning stage 2. I look forward to seeing you on the next video and hope you got a lot from this video. It's a really core skill you'd use.